Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, I apologise about that. And also, if there is any lag to this video, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2022 related video here on my channel. As I'm recording the video you're watching now, it is Wednesday the 11th of May, and last night the first semi-final of the 66th edition of the Eurovision Song Contest took place at the Palaolimpico in Turin in Italy, where 17 acts for 17 nations took to the stage for 10 spots in Saturday's grand final. In this video, I'm going to be briefly going through last night's events, and indeed the results, which of course we now know, whilst also previewing semi-final 2, which occurs tomorrow night with 18 countries involved, and also telling you my prediction for the semi-final 2 results. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested to know, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. A blog post is now up regarding semi-final 2 with my prediction. You might have already seen it, but if not, you know where to go. So, with that being said, let's talk about last night. The first semi-final, always exciting when Eurovision is back on TV. I'm not going to go into any great depth about the interval acts or the hosts, because really they matter little. What's important for everybody is the songs, the performances, and indeed the results. I did make a note though about the hosts, of which there are 3 this year. They seemed to be a bit cringy to me, maybe to you as well. Like I said, it doesn't really matter because I'm barely listening to a word they're saying anyway, but it seemed to me as though they were veering into cringy territory. But anyway, who really cares? I've got my notebook here. I thought the opening act was fairly good, but of course the songs themselves are what matter the most. So, Albania opened proceedings, Secret with Ronela Hayati at the helm. This went from looking like a very sure qualifier, and there's a term that I think I overuse, and maybe other people do as well, sure qualifier. Is there such a thing anymore? I don't know. But yes, I thought this was too good to miss out. I thought it was a very good song to open proceedings. But after watching the full performance last night, I thought, oh, this is in a spot of bother. It was a little on the messy side. The colour scheme didn't really work, but that seems quite trivial to mention. Ronela's a great performer. The vocals weren't too bad. She had male dancers on stage with her, and a female dancer too. But it seems to me as though they almost sacrificed the song for saucy choreography. Now, it didn't really bother me, but there's no denying the choreography was on the sexy side. Maybe that did not work in their favour. Some of these more conservative jury members might have thought, not for me. And I don't really know why it was like that in the first place. You're sort of making the song sexual when it doesn't really need to be. I mean, I'm not really complaining about this whatsoever. I'm just thinking maybe this is why the song maybe flopped quite a bit on the night. It just came across as a little bit messy, not too sure about some of the camera angles, and in the end it felt quite underwhelming. Other performances were considerably stronger than this. And whilst I'm not really looking through reams and reams of comments this year online to find out what people are thinking about the songs or the performances, I did see 1 or 2 people say, how is Albania out? It was the best performance of the night. To which I say, were you watching a completely different show? This was certainly not one of the best performances of the night. It wasn't even close. It was rather slipshod, if you ask me. The fact that Albania is gone, though, with a pretty decent effort, which I enjoy considerably more than the more recent Albanian entries that have made the final, is a little bit on the surprising side. Do feel free to let me know what you think, but Albania's out. Goodness me. Latvia, Song 2, Chitizeni with Eat Your Salad, performed with conviction, pretty slick performance, vocals weren't bad, moving about well, colourful. A lot of things were really working here, but I just thought, you know, are these international juries going to love this? It's doubtful. The public might, the juries won't. And when you put those votes together, maybe the jury wins and Latvia miss out in the end. And I think that's probably what occurred last night. The public might have had this in the top 6 or something like that, but the juries might have had this very close to last, if not last. As a result, another NQ for Latvia. And I've got to be honest, they need to change something, because this non-qualification streak is absolutely dreadful. Maybe just go internal next year. Markus Riva is sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to Lithuania. Yeah, this is not one of my favourites of the year, but I really don't mind it. Monika is great. She performs this so well. It's effortless. It's just so clean and nice and well performed. You've got this sort of sparkly effect to the performance. Lithuania will benefit a great deal from diaspora votes. Believe me, the UK will dish out at least 10 on Saturday. Ireland will dish out at least 10. I don't think this is going to finish last at all in the final. But yes, Monika's the best thing about this song. I did find it quite forgettable, I won't lie. The sound quality, I said this in last night's video, it seemed to me as though a lot of the musicians sounded quieter than they should have been. And Monika, yeah, I felt that when she performed. It just seemed a bit on the quiet side, but it's a really minor thing. She went through, and I know a lot of people really love this song. And the juries probably loved it too. Slovenia, next, I've got written down here. Am I missing somebody out? I don't think so. But anyway, Slovenia. Yeah, this song has grown on me quite a bit over the past 2 weeks or so. I quite liked the staging. Lacking charisma, perhaps. It was very static. But on the whole, I thought it was an alright 3 minutes. I thought it was a fine performance. But I never viewed disco as a qualifier. And indeed, Slovenia are out. Again, not much more to say. As for Ukraine, this was very good. It looks like it could win very easily. Vocally strong, visually pretty decent. I don't know. I think the song personally runs out of steam towards the end. It gets a little bit repetitive. But anyway, clearly going through, clearly pushing for the win on Saturday night. Kalisz Orchestra with Stefania. This, to me, sort of blew everything else away before it. You know? Every other song before Stefania in the running order, I just sort of forgot about. It's as if the show started with Ukraine. But yes, I really have nothing else to say about it. Very striking outfits. I didn't make a note about Switzerland. Dear me, why don't I just do this? This is better. Switzerland, I completely forgot about. Maybe it's a forgettable song. Marry Despair with Boys Do Cry. I thought it was staged quite well with these projections. He's very casually dressed in his black outfit. Vocally, it was all right. It's a dark horse. The juries might have absolutely adored this. It is the sort of thing that the juries would love. And I think the juries are less fickle than viewers, who are very quick to dismiss a track as dull, boring, uninteresting, crap vocals, all of that business. The juries aren't really like that, I don't think. And I have to say, having watched the performance last night, I thought, yeah, Switzerland's going through here because the juries will like it. And I think that's the thing. Latvia was perhaps, we don't know of course, but Latvia was perhaps really damaged by a very poor jury mark, whereas Switzerland really benefited from a potentially very high jury mark. People online were saying, how has Switzerland gone through and Latvia has missed out? It's the juries. As far as I'm concerned, it's the juries and nothing else. But yes, Switzerland, it was fine, but I did sort of forget it straight away, even though it's a really pretty song. Going back then to song 7 now, we're moving forwards. Bulgaria, yeah, never going to qualify, really, but not a bad performance. Quite liked the whole aesthetic of it. Vocally, it was fine. I really have nothing else to add. I didn't expect it to go through. And Bulgaria miss out on the final for the first time in a good few years. Then we had the Netherlands. Oh man. Oh man. Got a little bit of a crush on Ace Team. Don't mind admitting it. I loved this. The song is doing well on streaming charts, I believe, at the moment, which is a nice sign. I really loved this. So simple. Apart from a few lights rising and streaking across the arena. There's not much to it. I loved the fact at the start she's on this little plinth and there's lights around her, and then at the end the camera comes down right in front of her face. It's quite intimate, quite atmospheric. I thought it was just really lovely, and you could tell at the end she was getting quite emotional, but it was fine. It worked. Absolutely wonderful. Loved it. And they announced her last. How very dare they? I was getting nervous, absolutely. I just thought this was really wonderful from start to finish. Should be up there pushing for the win. I doubt it now, but it should be up there. Then we have Moldova. Well, the crowd loved it, and Moldova just have a habit of doing this, punching above their weight. Stop for a third time in the final, along with the Adbahov brothers this time. Trenuletel. The staging for me is fairly underwhelming, but they give it their all. It's a catchy, folky tune. You can sing along with the hey ho, let's go bit. This might do extremely well in the public results in the final. Maybe well over 100 points, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if this was top 3 with the public in the end. It's a song that at first was completely dismissed, and now people are warming to it a little more, and yeah, this is on course to not be disgraced at all in the final. But yeah, the staging was a little underwhelming for me, but there we are. Portugal, this was really nice. A few too many wide shots, perhaps. Saudade, Saudade by Maro. I love this song. It's so relaxing. Vocally, very sort of fragile, very precious, you know. It's almost as if she's murmuring. I've said this before. Almost as if she's murmuring the lyrics to this song, which I know some people might not like at all, but it just gives it a very gentle, intimate feel. And I really like this. Did prefer the performance at the national final, absolutely, but this was perfectly good. Smoke machine, the girls in a circle on the B stage, very different from everything else. And this is a bit of a dark horse, simple as that. Then we have Croatia. This was fine. I actually missed the start of this performance because I was in the loo, sorry to say it. But Mia Dimsic with Guilty Pleasure. Great singer, she looked good. Didn't really enjoy the whole dance story thing that was going on. Just sort of came across as a bit of a distraction. But yeah, the song I really don't mind at all. I just did not expect it to go through. Then Denmark. This was great. Oh yeah, I really enjoyed this. Colourful, the drummer standing up to do her thing, I thought that was fantastic. And a reasonable amount of energy, really enjoyable, nice to watch, a good track, vocally pretty strong. But again, being a realist, I did not expect this to make the cut. And hopefully the show by Reddy did not finish last. Then we have Austria. Oh man, I really enjoyed this too. That ring of lights, not a whole lot of movement, but Lumix and Pia Maria, flashing lights, steam, flames, the whole shebang, the crowd loving it. I thought this was really good. Yes, the vocals maybe could have been a lot stronger. That's been the big talking point with this song since day one. And maybe that's what cost Austria in the end. But I didn't think it was awful. I really didn't. And Pia Maria, oh man, I just loved her hair. Oh, absolutely loved that. The red boots. Yeah, really going for it and having a blast on stage. And to think that this song looked like an absolute surefire qualifier a few weeks ago, but the momentum totally drove off a cliff. And in the end, I don't think anybody's surprised that Austria are out. But there we are. Then Iceland. Oh, dark horse galloping in, sister. Med High Candy Sol. Here's the thing. I think people just ignored this or forgot about it. But actually, that rehearsal clip, yes, it was only 45 seconds worth, but there was nothing to fault. The vocals were good. Visually, it was pretty decent. It looked really atmospheric and beautiful. But it's the sort of thing that people just said, whatever. I want to see something else. Last night's performance, you can't really fault. It was really nice from start to finish. It seemed to be over very quickly. But I loved the golden glow. The harmonies were tight. I'm not sure this is going to do incredibly well in the final, but I enjoyed it. Iceland in the final, with a song in Icelandic, and it's folk. And it was after a big up-tempo track like Austria, and before one of the favourites to win in Greece. The fact that this is through is a triumph. Moving on to Greece. Well, oh boy, just everything I wanted it to be. Loved her outfit, loved her look in general, loved the colour scheme, mainly blue and white of course, loved the melting chair effect. So powerful. The a cappella stuff, great, loved it, haunting, captivating. If this is not pushing for the win, I'll be amazed. I know Ukraine is the favourite to win, but as far as I'm concerned, Greece, miles better. Preferred watching it, prefer the song, everything. And I know that I'm gushing about this song, Die Together by Amanda Georgiadi Tenfjord, but I really thought it was excellent. One of the finest performances I've seen on a Eurovision stage for a long time. Really good. Then we had Norway. Well, this is exactly as we expected. Slick, well performed, choreography. Tix, apparently, is the DJ at the back. Interesting. I have very little to add here. Blue and yellow colour scheme. Vocals were fine, maybe a bit reliant on the pre-recorded stuff, but nobody really gives a crap. And this is obviously going to do exceptionally well in the final with the public, slightly less so with the juries, but a top 10 result is on the cards. That leaves Armenia, quite ambitious staging, but at the same time quite simple. That box that she's in actually rotates, and she's pulling down the post-it notes from the wall, everything's covered in post-it notes. It's a very white performance, a bit more colour wouldn't have gone amiss. Vocals good, working the camera well, acoustic guitar at the start which she's not really playing. That nervy moment near the end where it looked as though she wasn't going to be able to rip open that hole and move forwards. But yeah, really lovely track, could well open the final. So with that being said, we do know that Armenia, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and Switzerland and Ukraine are in the first half. You better believe they'll stick Ukraine right on at the end of that first half. But if they've got any balls, Ukraine will open the show, and it could still win because it's a good song. If the song's good enough, it doesn't matter where it is in the running order, surely. We also know, of course, France, Germany and Spain are in the first half. That first half is looking stacked. We know that Greece, Iceland, Lithuania and Moldova, along with the UK, are in the second half. With that massive ramble out of the way, let's have a look at semi-final 2 then. I've got my blog in front of me. Tomorrow night, all of these countries will vote, all 18, along with Germany, Spain and the UK. Finland Open, I'm concerned. Jezebel by the Rasmus, such an experienced group. The UMK performance wasn't brilliant. Vocally, a little bit shaky. Staging, the whole aesthetic, could have been better. Pre-party performance is exactly the same thing. Rehearsals at Eurovision over the past 2 weeks or so, not bad, not brilliant. Albania was on first, didn't go through. Could the same thing happen to Finland? Maybe. There's not much momentum here, even though they are a popular, well-known group. The vocals are a little bit better, but still not on the money. There's black bubbles on stage. I'm not sure what they're for. Do they really add anything? Perhaps not. They just need to be bringing this. I think the final chorus will, but that's the final chorus. That great big dollop of energy needs to be there from the very start, from the very first note. I've written here on my blog, expected to go through, but not quite as comfortably anymore. It is one of the favourites to go through, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I really like it, but I am concerned. Song 2, Mikhail Ben David, I Am, for Israel. No doubt he's a good performer, great vocals, very charismatic, white outfit, his dancers in white outfits, loads of choreography, red and white flashing lights. It's cheeky and playful, as I've put here. We cannot rule this out doing exceptionally well. It is exactly the sort of thing, as far as I'm concerned, that neutral viewers and listeners will think is the bee's knees. It's a little bit camp, it's a bit flamboyant, but they might just think this is right up their street, you know. Not one of my favourites. Would not be shocked if it goes through. Serbia Song 3, Incorpore Sano Constructor. In terms of views, this is crushing the opposition. It's so formal and so bizarre, and yet it all sort of works. It's great every time. There has not been a duff performance of this song yet. She's there washing her hands. I think English lyrics will appear on the screen. Don't quote me on that. That helps matters in terms of getting the message across. Will people think this is clever, or will they mock it for being silly? I don't know. The Balkan vote is there. I've been saying this for ages. It's everybody else. You get points from all of the other countries. This is going through very, very comfortably. If it is just Balkan support, it's still going through and going to do fine in the final, but maybe not as high as if everybody was really on board with this. But I like her. I think it's a very, very different, compelling entry, engaging stuff. It's not one of my favourites, but I know people love it, and I think most people are in agreement that this is going through. Song 4, Azerbaijan. One of the most forgettable entries of the year. Fade to Black by Nadir Rustamli. Brilliant vocalist. All about the beard. He's on the bleachers. He's got a dancer. This is atmospheric. It's quite dark. For me, I've been saying this since the first time I heard it. It takes too long to build up, and then it ends, and then you've forgotten about it. But this is just the sort of thing that will be in the final. Azerbaijan usually are in the final, and whilst this might not leave much of an impression, it is the sort of thing that I can see in the final. Song 5, Georgia, Circus Mercus Lock Me In. It's been ages since Georgia made the final. 2016 was the last time. This is psychedelic, Willy Wonka-esque, Tim Burton movie, Monty Python, I said in one of my last videos. This is just so unusual, but it's not too chaotic. It's not really silly, as it could have been. Lots of purple, flashing lights, swirling patterns on the backdrop. There's a bit of a puppet show thing going on at one stage. They're a really interesting looking group. And again, like with Serbia, I think this is quite an engaging song. It's going to be quite an engaging performance. But it's not standing out as much as it needs to maybe see Georgia qualify. It would be a surprise to me and a lot of other people if this made the cut tomorrow night. Song 6, Malta. Emma Muscat is great. Beautiful singer. In the second rehearsal clip, maybe the vocals weren't on the money, but we know she can really sing. Very experienced for somebody so young. People are saying this feels like a junior Eurovision entry. I get that. It's playing it very safe. This is a sort of rejected Melfest track, which is a bit disappointing. We know the juries love Malta. I think they will again. The public might have this last. When you smush the points together, who comes out on top? The jury's winning and Malta going through, or the public winning and Malta missing out. There's no doubt that this is a step back from Je Me Casse. There's no doubt that this is a step back from Chameleon, but it's still very good. I like it for what it is. It's very difficult to say if this is going through or not. Wouldn't be surprised either way. It's fine. You've got this sort of golden colour scheme. It's looking good, it's sounding good, but maybe it's just ultimately too plain. Song 7, San Marino, Stripper by Achille Lauro, huge star in Italy. And this is all over the shop. They have really thrown everything at this. There's a Red Bull, not the drink, an actual red... Anyway, musicians in cages on stage, flames, pyro, guitars. I like Achille Lauro as a performer. He's a born performer, as I've been saying for weeks. Not such a fan of the grunting at certain points, which seems unnecessary. I don't know. It feels as though this is a little bit too messy, but it sort of works with this style of song, this sort of bluesy, well, not really bluesy, but this sort of, dirty rock song. Is it going through? Great for San Marino if this does make the cut. That's 3 finals in a row. Could this be their best result to date in the final? Who knows? But I also wouldn't be shocked if this missed out, because I can't imagine the juries are going to really think much of this. But we wait and see. Song 8, Australia. Sheldon Riley, Not the Same. Brilliant singer. Very emotionally charged. Staircases on stage. He's at the top, white outfit. Veil, which he removes. Shaking hand. It's all very West End theatrical musical stuff. Juries will love this. It is pure jury bait as far as I'm concerned. The public, on the other hand, might not be so keen. Yeah, I have to say I'm very much on the fence with this as well. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't really remember much about the tune itself. I know the chorus, but it's everything else around it. It doesn't really flow very nicely, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, there's no doubt that he nails this. Every time. It's going through. Song 9, Cyprus. Andromachi with Ella. Ooh. Could this be a shock NQ? Potentially, but Cyprus have a brilliant qualification streak. Latvia could learn a thing or two. This song, I'm so glad it's not a pop bop again. We've got something that feels more low-key, summery, in Greek, thank you very much. Andromachi's great, lovely vocals, beautiful woman. She's in that seashell structure on stage, which has sort of waves either side. Not much happening on the backdrop. It feels very static, it looks very static. There needs to be a bit of movement to make this stand out more. Otherwise, it's just going to come across as too dull for some. I don't know, man. This is good, but I am concerned about its chances. We wait and see. Song 10, Ireland. Wow, what a step up from the national final. This has got better and better as the weeks have gone by. Brooke with That's Rich. She's confident, strutting her stuff. Blue outfit, dancers in white, but the emphasis is very much on Brooke. Pyro, purple lights. Ugh, I really don't like a purple colour scheme, but there we are. This looks great, and it sounds pretty decent. It's a really credible pop effort. Yes, maybe Ireland will miss out on the final again, but this should not be disgraced whatsoever. This should not be finishing last. It is pretty decent stuff. It's a very enjoyable performance. It looks as though it's going to be a great 3 minutes. Brooke will be having a blast. Her vocals are better than they've ever sounded. Great stuff. Moving on, Song 11, North Macedonia, Andrea with Circles. I don't see this going through at all. It's too plain. Andrea is alone on stage, black outfit. The vocals are great, but visually there's not much to it. It's really, really safe. And I just can't imagine points will pour in for this from either the juries or the public. It's as simple as that. Estonia, Stefan with Hope, Song 12. Should be going through, but I'm a little bit concerned, a bit like Finland. He's damaged by the arches facing the wrong way. Desert landscape on the backdrop. He's got the guitar. The cowboy theme has sort of gone. His voice is very good. He's moving about. He's having a good time on stage. That energy might come through to viewers at home who might want to vote for him. I've always liked this song, but I absolutely get that this is falling a little bit flat for some. Moving on, Song 13, Romania, Shamame by WRS. Shimmying about. Don't like what the guys are wearing. They may as well go fully topless. The girls are in these blood red dresses. He's very charismatic. His vocals aren't bad. There's a sort of yellowy golden concentric circle thing going on the backdrop. We see lyrics as well appear. They did fix that from the first rehearsal. This is fine, but does it really leave enough of an impact? Does it really pack a punch? I don't think it does, you know. It's fine, and Romania need to be in the final again. It's been years. But is this the song to do it? I don't know. Song 14, Poland, Ochman River, going through. Juries should be on board with Poland this year, where they haven't been in the past. He's in his suit. The vocals, the falsetto, brilliant. His voice is the best thing about this. Remarkably, to me, this is still one of the favourites to win. I don't think this is coming close. But we know points will come in from everywhere. No doubt about that from the public. He's got dancers who look like dementors, black outfits, that's fine. We've got that shaking, disorientating camera effect. Does that work? I don't know. I really don't know. But it still looks fine as a whole, and this is surely going through. Song 15, Montenegro, Vladana, Breathe. Blue dress, gorgeous woman. This light-up white disc attached to her back. Not really sure what that's all about. It just is the sort of song that's really nice, but it's forgotten about quickly. I'm sorry to say it. This is easily one of the finest songs Montenegro has had in their spell in Eurovision to date, but I just don't see it going through. I really don't. Unless the juries go massive for it, I can't imagine the public will. As a result, it's looking like an NQ, but it's perfectly fine. It just doesn't leap out at you, and it won't leap out at you in the recap either, as far as I'm concerned. Song 16, Belgium. What a fat disappointment. Miss You by Jeremy Maquis. I'm sorry. I know I've been harsh about this song, but to me it's such a crushing disappointment. What was that rehearsal clip? You know, lazily boogieing about. I mean, come on, put some effort into it. It looked so bland. Visually not that interesting. He's in a silver outfit, dancers, recreating a bit of the choreography from the music video. This is soulful R&B. That's nice. It's a different sound for Belgium from what we've had over the past few years. But this is disappointing. I would be amazed if this goes through. I really would. To me, it's falling very, very flat. Moving on. Sweden song 17, Cornelia Jacobs' Hold Me Closer, my favourite of the year. Exactly the same as Melfest, although the green disc looks a bit bigger, and there's pyro near the end. We know she's going to nail it. We know she's going to be engaging with the camera. We know this is going to be a very touching, emotional, engaging performance. Can't really say much more about it. It's expected to win this semi-final. It probably will, and this year, maybe for the first time in a while, the public will be on board with Sweden too. Closing the show, Czech Republic We Are Domi Lights Off, brilliant. The rehearsal clip was excellent. One of the best rehearsal clips I saw. Statues, I think, on the backdrop around this, within this white banner. Vocals have got a lot better, not that they were poor in the first place. Flashing lights galore, that moment where the lights turn off, very effective. I think this is great. The song has grown on me a lot since I first heard it, months ago. It's a very credible entry indeed. It should be going through. I think it's a terrific entry. So, my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have my notice board here, so I'm going to have to go through it like this. Bear with me. I got 7 out of 10 last night. I'm even less convinced with this, but I've crunched the numbers. Again, I've given each song a mark out of 100 in various categories. Vocals, staging, jury prediction, public prediction, betting odds, as they were the other day, and my own ranking the songs without really judging anything at all. So, the first qualifier is Estonia. I do think this is going through. I am concerned, but I think this is just good enough to make the cut. Simple as that. The second qualifier is Finland, and it's the same story here. This is not convincing me, and I've gone off the song quite a bit. It's still one of my favourites, though. The performance is not strong enough. It does not look strong enough, but should still make the cut. It's a bit like second season syndrome, you know, in football, where a team has an excellent year, maybe wins the league, and then the next year they can't live up to expectations, they fall flat. Finland are trying to do the same thing again, it seems, and it's not quite working. We shall soon see if Finland suffer from second season syndrome. It sort of happened with Lordi. Won, and then the next year on home soil, Finland had another rock song, and it didn't do nearly as well. The third qualifier is Poland, very clearly going through as far as I'm concerned. Public love this, juries will like it, going through. The fourth qualifier is the Czech Republic. On last is great. This just seems so good. It looks as though it's going to be a great, engaging performance. I've used that word too much, but it really does look that way. And I'd be very, very disappointed if this missed out. I think equal amounts of love from the public and the juries. The sixth qualifier is Australia. Come on now. Like hell, this is missing out. This should be going through very comfortably. Could do exceptionally well with the jurors, who just might really appreciate his vocals, and they are very good. The public mark again for Australia, once again, maybe where they struggle. The seventh qualifier is Cyprus. Yeah, again, I'm a bit concerned about this. Once that rehearsal clip was released, people were loving this. But now a few doubts are starting to creep in, including from me, as I've already mentioned. But Cyprus have a great qualification streak at the moment, and I don't think it's going to end this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The seventh qualifier is Sweden. Again, come on now. This is obviously going through. I don't really need to say anything more about it. I've made a whole video about this entry. You might well have seen it. Nothing more to say. I also have a Swedish flag. That will be in my video tomorrow night, all being well. The eighth qualifier is Serbia. Yes, indeed. This is going through. I think we're all perhaps in agreement with this. Some people think it's going to win. I don't. But it's on course for their best result in a long time. That leaves 2 countries left. The ninth qualifier. Yes. Get ready for it. It's Israel. Ooh, boy. I know. I was surprised when I worked out the average marks. But Israel, I've got down as a qualifier. Neutral viewers might love it. Neutral listeners might think it's the bee's knees. And it's not one of my favourites at all. But I can see it creeping in. I really can. That charisma, those vocals, that choreography, it's ticking a lot of the right boxes. Maybe the juries might actually be on board with this as well. as such, I am in the final. Let's go through some of the NQs now. Romania, out. I know, risky saying that. If this goes through, it's fine, because I really don't mind it, and it would be nice to see Romania back in the final for the first time since 2017 and yodel it. But I think actually this could fall flat. I think the juries might loathe this, actually. I'm not sure a lot of love is going to go Yamame's way. The public will like it more. But yeah, looking at the other songs, maybe this is one that just misses out in the end. Also out, North Macedonia. I think we're all in agreement there. Can't see this getting enough love. It's as simple as that. Belgium out. What is there about this song that screams qualifier? Nothing. Not to me. Nothing at all. Apart from the fact that he's a very good singer, this is just poor. Hate to say it. I know I sound harsh about this song, but I'm really disappointed with it. And I'd be amazed if this did exceptionally well. Really amazed. Also out, Georgia. Yeah, it looks like another NQ this year for Georgia, but fair play for bringing something different to the table. I think San Marino's gone. The jury mark might be the big deal here. Yeah. Just not sure that jury mark will be high enough, and when you smush the points together, he might just miss out. Also missing out, Montenegro. Like I said earlier, a fine song, but not enough points going her way. Plus, maybe it's quite forgettable visually, I don't know. Also out, Malta. Yeah, I think, again, when you put the votes together, the fact that the jury will love her, probably. But the fact that the public really won't go big for this, you know, we're probably talking no more than 10 points. I know that's harsh, but it could be a reality. That just won't be enough when you put the points together. Emma's missing out, but I'd be very happy if Malta was announced as a qualifier tomorrow night. That leaves 2 countries left, I believe. Doesn't it? Yes, it does. If you've been paying attention, you've got Azerbaijan and Ireland. The 10th and final qualifier is Azerbaijan. I'd prefer it to be Ireland, but I think it's going to be Azerbaijan purely because they usually qualify. He's a very good singer. The performance might be really, really excellent. Tomorrow night when we see the whole thing, it might be really, really atmospheric and beautifully done. The jurors might think this is incredible. The public might think, yeah, this isn't too bad. Some points here and there. Not many 12 points perhaps, but a lot of, 6s, 7s, 8s. They all add up. Fade to black in the final. That's Rich missing out. So, from bottom to top, well, I'll do it this way actually. I may as well do it this way. So, Finland going through in 9th place with a score of 72.14, Israel 10th with a score of 69.71, Serbia 3rd with a score of 80.71, Azerbaijan 8th with a score of 72.29, some of these were very close, Georgia 18th with a score of 60.57, Malta 14th with a score of 66.86, San Marino 12th with a score of 68.57, Australia 4th with a score of 79, Cyprus 5th with a score of 77.86, Ireland 11th with a score of 69.14, North Macedonia 17th with a score of 61.29, Estonia 6th with a score of 77.43, Romania 15th with a score of 66.71, Poland 2nd with a score of 85, Montenegro 16th with a score of 63.57, Belgium 13th with a score of 68.43, Sweden 1st with a score of 89.43, and the Czech Republic 7th with a score of 76.71. So, with that being said, and if you want to see that ranking, it'll be on my Twitter page and on my blog of course. That's it. Let me know your thoughts, genuinely interested to know. And all being well, I'll be back tomorrow night to do it all again, sitting right here, watching my TV and reacting to the results of the second semi-final of this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share the video, comment, whatever it is. I really do appreciate it. It means a great deal to me. And until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and ciao for now.